Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new video. And that's right, it's combat sports time. It's the filthy casual and hardcore show where me and Ola take you through the world of boxing and MMA. Speaking of Ola, say hello to the people, brother.
Yeah, what's happening, people? It's been a minute. We're back again doing the MMA show, the boxing talk. Yeah, I'm glad to be back on the channel, man, doing this. You know, this is my passion, so you know I love this shit. You get me?
Good. It's always nice to kick it with my boys and just talking about, like you say, the passionate stuff. Obviously, boxing being my particular passion, but I do love me some MMA lately. And you same kind of the other way around, really. Your passion being UFC, but you do like you some boxing as well. So.
Yeah, of course. You know, anything where people can get them hands, you know, I mean, I love that shit, man. So.
Well, it's funny we should talk about passion because I guess obviously the main kind of nuts and bolts of this video is going to be about previewing the 242 card, which takes place in Abu Dhabi this weekend. I'll tell you, a lot of sporting events happening in Abu Dhabi lately.
Yeah.
Thank you, VP, for the donation. Much love. Let's talk about passion, and that is obviously in the last couple of days, if you're unaware of this, but Logan Paul and KSI have announced their rematch, which ordinarily I wouldn't speak a lot about, but actually it's turned into a pro fight.
Bro, this is massive.
Yeah.
It's massive. I mean, people like Joe Rogan and Brendan Schaub are talking about this guy.
Yeah.
This shit is crazy. It's off the chain.
I think
Dana White knows about these guys, man. Like,
I'm actually shocked. I'm shocked Dana didn't do this. I'm shocked Dana didn't do this because to me, if you're Dana White and you're starting a boxing company, this Zuffa boxer that he's been trying to start for ages, why wouldn't you take this opportunity? The fight was always scheduled to take place contractually. I mean, for anyone who don't know, they did crazy numbers for their first fight.
Yeah,
crazy numbers for their first fight. I know a lot of people that tried to watch that fight illegally and they struggled. I don't know how they managed to block so many illegal avenues of watching the fights, but they did well because a lot of people were forced on the day to buy it, and their numbers were crazy for it. And there was a lot of talk at the time. I remember Eddie Hearn in particular was interviewed and asked, I think it was by Coogan. Basically, the question was, sorry, I can hear my TV in the background. The question was from Coogan from IFL. Shout out to him because I know he's a gooner. He basically asked Eddie, would you ever consider putting on this type of event with Logan Paul and KSI? You know, they've done so well. And he kind of laughed at the suggestion. But that was like over a year ago. What has happened between then and now? I guess the numbers were just so bad. And Eddie can smell a fiver in a snowstorm. Let me tell you. He probably thought, let me have an opportunity to put on a show. And I must admit, I've struggled with this because I am a boxing traditionalist. I am normally. But actually, if you take a step back and say to yourself, all right, this is a situation where it's a money fight. You know, it's very, very, you know, the kind of bracket I put it into.
Cheers, everyone. I'm on the Cobra tonight.
The kind of Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor type of bracket. Where deep down, you know, this ain't a serious thing. But, you know, they've gone that extra mile to work hard, to get the boxing license, to do the things they need to do in order to get the said boxing license. They've decided that they want to go pro, so that means no head guards whatsoever.
That's massive. That's intriguing. That's intriguing to me.
But more than that, actually, let's call a spade a spade. I love boxing. There ain't that many fights that gets the world talking. There just isn't. And I think the one thing, maybe I'm a little bit biased because I am a YouTuber, but let's be real here. YouTube has its audience. It does. It does. There are a lot of YouTubers that, quite honestly, I know there's a lot of uproar that Billy Joe Saunders would be, who's a world champion, and he's going to be considered on the undercard of this fight. But let's call a spade here. There are a lot of KSI fans, a lot of Logan Paul fans that haven't got a Scooby fucking dude who Billy Saunders is. Straight up.
100%.
Straight up. They don't know who he is. They don't know who he is. And I think from his point of view, he should be looking at it and saying to himself, you know what? This is an opportunity to build up my audience, to build up the exposure, and to play on a bigger platform. Because let me tell you something. Don't get it twisted. There were MMA fighters, there were boxing fighters that wanted to be on that Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather card. They recognized the amount of eyes that were on that card. So everyone wanted to jump on that shit. And you best believe, as we edge closer to the 9th of November, where this fight is scheduled to take place, you best believe people are going to be begging to be on that card. Rightly or wrongly, this is an entertainment game. And all right, I ain't subscribed to either guy, if you want me to be fucking real. I'm rooting for KSI purely because he's Nigerian.
Yeah, both my kids are they're subscribed to him. They love his shit. You know what I mean? All his music, everything. They're all over KSI, man. They love him, man. You know what I mean?
I'm lying. 80% because he's Nigerian and 20% because Logan Paul's a fucking idiot. Right? That's it. That's the only reason. Other than that, I couldn't care less about both of the individuals, really. But you know, am I going to critique it? Are me and Ola probably going to cover it? Yeah, we might touch on it. To be fair, maybe we might. We might analyze the fight. But in terms of whether I feel it's ruining boxing, for me, boxing is an entertainment game. It is. It has to be. It has to be. And I think these guys have at least demonstrated in a fight that they are both. I don't want to give them so much credit by saying they're white collar fighters, but in KSI's case, he's had 2 fights previously.
One thing, if you don't mind me jumping in, is one thing I love to say is you have to give them credit for taking it one step further. Obviously, it was a majority draw the last time. It was the bit where it was so cleverly done, in my opinion, is keeping it on YouTube and getting the YouTube audience, because the YouTube audience, people are moving away from terrestrial TV. Exactly. People are moving away from it. Everything is on demand today now, and that's why people like Eddie Hearn and Dana is trying to go on this design business. Is it design?
Design,
yeah. That's why they're trying to go there now and trying to move away from the traditional channels that they've been fucking with for the past God knows how long, because everybody is wanting stuff on the go. Nobody sits on their TV no more watching stuff, you know? So the baddest thing that KSI and that Logan fight could have done was keeping it locked on YouTube, because it's on the go. Everything is on the go. There's a lot of movies that's there now, and YouTube is opening doors in terms of entertainment. So for them to now take it one step further, go get their boxing licenses, go professional. This reminds me of CM Punk when he went professionally because you have to give him the credit. Like, all right, you know what? If you went to face real fighters that's been boxing for years, you're gonna get smoked. But at least for the entertainment value that you're gonna give the fans, and they know 100% they got eyeballs. There's gonna be a lot of eyeballs. People are gonna buy this stuff, and the risk that's been opened up by not wearing the head guard, and you saw the way those guys were swinging in the last fight. Them man, they were swinging. You know what I mean? Trying to take each other's head off. Imagine that with no head guard on. Somebody is going down. I don't know who's going down, but somebody be going down. Obviously, like you said, for obvious reasons, we'll be rooting for our boy. But at the same time, it's gonna be a feast for the eyes. And I personally can't wait to see it because
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you because I was a bit like, it's gonna be a stupid fight. I enjoyed watching it, to be honest.
bro,
When I watched it, I enjoyed it. I really
mm,
enjoyed
mm.
it. It
I
played out
mean,
exactly how I thought it would as well. Because I think,
they had a lot of big professional fighters behind them on the last fight as well. You know, people like Chisora. I can't remember the other big brother's name as
oh,
well.
Sharon Briggs and people like that.
Sharon Briggs, that's the one. That's the name that I was looking for. Thank you. You know, they had these big names behind them in the world of boxing, backing it. So even if people try to mock it, once you see these serious faces in behind in behind them doing all the backroom work and trying to get it out there, and like you said, Eddie Hearn, he's got his little fingers in that pie there as well. You know, when you see these serious faces behind you, you can't mock it. You got to take it seriously, and
And that's the
there's
thing.
a lot of money to be made.
You've just touched on it just now with that last comment. To me, I think Eddie Hearn, out of all the promoters out there, is the guy that is on the post the most. He recognizes, in theory, this is dumb. Like he knows that, but he also, you can't deny them numbers. You
No,
can't.
the
And the way
eyeballs
he
are there.
sees it, the way he sees it is, there's potentially a new audience there of young people that may have been turned into boxing fans through that first fight. And what he said is, listen, let me pay you guys a whole bunch of money. We're going to take that shit off YouTube, though. We're going to pay you guys a whole bunch of money because what we need is some subscribers for the zone. We
Mm.
need that. So if we put this exclusively on the zone, we'll pay you guys whatever you guys got, add another 10 million, we'll pay it to you. Right? And in the meantime, the only way you can watch this fight is on the zone. Right? To me, I think that is just a smart fucking way of doing business. And I know,
It's a smart way, but would those guys agree to it? Because these guys, their loyalty and how they've built themselves from the ground up
Ola, let me ask you something.
has always been YouTube.
You feature on YouTube regularly through mine and Tom's show. Let's be
Yeah.
fucking honest here. If someone pays you 10 million to never go on YouTube throughout 2020, you're taking 10 million. I will call you an idiot if you never took that money.
Of course.
No.
You know,
And,
of course.
and supposedly the numbers were they got somewhere in the region of 20 million on their own back last time. They're going to be fighting in a bigger arena. They're going to have professional people behind them. And supposedly, the numbers are they're set to be in the region of just over £30 million each.
Bro, the trailer,
I'm doing that.
I
love all my subscribers.
the trailer clip just for this fight has hit 171 million views on YouTube, blood. Bro, 171 million views. The trailer, blood. I'm talking about the trailer, man. It's not even a fight. I swear to God, like, I don't even think Eddie, you know what I mean? That man ain't even seen them kind of views before. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. And I can see where Eddie Hearn can use the money to try, because if this AJ business goes south, this is a really good, smart backup plan in the back pocket for Eddie Hearn.
Again, I'm so glad we're in sync today. Exactly what I'm not gonna be honest. If you're fucking Eddie Hearn, that fight against Andy Ruiz. So this is where me and Ola are thinking wider picture here. That fight against Andy Ruiz,
you gotta look ahead, man.
Scared the shit out of you. It scared the shit out of you. So now you're thinking to yourself, all right, we need some contingency plans because we have way too much of our stock in Anthony Joshua right now. So what are we going to do? We're going to take this rematch fight with AJ Ruiz and we're going to take it to Abu Dhabi. We're going to dress it as a new opportunity when everybody knows it's a cash grab. No problem. Take it to Abu Dhabi. Then you say to yourself, all right, cool. We need to sell out some of our principles here. And you know what I was laughing at a year ago? doesn't sound so mad now. Let's do it. Let's get it done. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, money talks, bullshit walks, and everyone knows that. As Dylan White famously calls him, Fast Car Eddie. When these promoters, what they say yesterday may not necessarily be true today. Dana White is famous for that shit. Once upon a time, said that women will never fight in UFC. Less than a year later, what happened? The money talks at the end of the day. And I think, for me, that is a brand new audience. Boxing, I love boxing, but even I have to admit, it's a dying sport. And if there is any way that you can revitalize it in any type of way, this is it. And to me, this is a perfect way of doing it. You've got two young stars, regardless of whether or not I like Logan Paul or not. I recognize this motherfucker is 19 million. I'd love to have 10% of that subscriber base. 10%.
100%.
So, and KSI has 20 million subscribers on one channel, almost 10 million subscribers on the second channel. They have a massive audience, a massive core audience. And even if they get less than 5% buying it, trust me, that is a hell of a success. And I think, to me, and I think my man said it here in the chat, I think it's great for boxing. I do. Initially, I was a bit reluctant to it, but the fact that they are now going the proper route, is going the professional route, they're taking it seriously, they're drug testing them, I think it's a good thing. In terms of the fight itself, my early thoughts, I think somebody put it best here when they said that Logan Paul is the stronger, more natural athlete, but I think KSI has the better boxing IQ. And I think exactly the way the fight went the first time, and I knew it would go, but fair play to KSI, he adjusted well. And that was, if he boxes on the outside, I thought Logan Paul will pick him off because he's bigger, he's taller, he's got the longer reach. So the one thing KSI didn't want to do was box him on the outside. But because KSI is a naturally faster guy, what you need to do is take away someone's reach when they've got that long of a reach on you. And the way you do that is by sitting in front of them. Sitting in front of them, closing the distance. Personally, I don't think many people, I know this is going a bit off topic, I don't think people do that enough to John Jones, to be perfectly honest. Just close that distance and sit
I agree with it.
Sit on him. Don't let him dictate the fight.
Check this out. Check out the real surprise there, yeah? I don't know if you've seen the interview, KSI's interview on this fight. And he was actually saying he knew nothing about, he didn't know a lot about Logan Paul coming into the fight. He was analyzing the man during the fight. He was having to read him during the fight, trying to work out distances during the fight. But even in the fight, he knew he was fighting stupid. And they were just throwing bombs, trying to take each other out. He said, this time around, I know him. I felt his power. I can read him better. He said, if anything, Logan's best chance to actually beat him was in that fight when he didn't know nothing about it. He said, going into this time now, where he knows him, he felt his power, he knows what he can do, he can read him good, and he's taking time to really study him. He said he's got problems, man. He's got problems. Big problems. And shout out to TW in the chat. He said, and I want to get your take on this. He said, Erdogan, does he actually realize that majority of KSI and Logan's audience are little kids? But these little kids get their parents to spend, just like my kids. They empty my pockets to watch this fight. And Erdogan don't care where the money comes from.
I like TW. I slightly disagree with him. If we're talking about little kids, teenagers, like 17 and up, then all right, I agree with you. I don't think they get much younger than that because, blimey, if you've seen some of their material, I'll be shocked if parents are letting 12, 13-year-olds watch some of their shit. But
Yeah, you need to trust me. What 12 or 30-year-olds get up to, man? Fucking hell. They were watching all kind of madness on
I
YouTube,
know,
bro.
bro.
But carry
I
on.
know. But I will say this.
I'm saying it from the parents. I got a 12, 13-year-old, so trust me, I know. Trust me,
Right.
I
But
know.
even if that's the case, what's wrong with them watching boxing? What's wrong with that?
Nothing. That's a good thing. It's a
Yeah.
really good thing. The only
There's
thing is
nothing wrong with that.
Eddie Hearn don't care where that money is coming from. He don't care
Exactly.
who's paying, and he don't
Yeah.
care where the eyeballs are coming from.
In fact, you're absolutely right. And let me use another good example. As dumb as I think it is, I get the theory of why, say, someone like WWE focuses their audience on the young kids and the young talent. Because as Ola's just said, young kids are the best weapon you need to get a parent to spend money. They're the best weapon. 100%. So if a young kid all of a sudden gets inspired to either watch boxing off the back of this or, dare I say, do boxing themselves, to me, I think that's the best way of growing the sport. So I can see the theory. I know it pisses traditionalists off. It really does. And
Bro,
maybe because being a YouTuber, I can see the bigger picture a bit better.
if you look at, for quick example, if you look at Sidemen FC and what's this other football FC that they go and play, when they go to Wembley, 'cause I take my kids down there, right? When they go Wembley, mate, the amount of kids that fill up the stadium, there is majority kids that go and watch this Sidemen FC. No grown up wants to go and sit down there watching Sidemen FC. It's kids that drag their parents to Wembley and they buy merchandise, hats, hoodies, all type of stuff. You know what I mean? What's this guy, the guy on Filthy Fellas? My brethren from West Ham. That's supposed West Ham.
Stevo.
Huh?
Stevo.
Yeah, Stevo the Madman. They're buying all of his stuff. You know what I mean? It's the kids that's buying the stuff, and they emptying the parents' pockets to do this. You know what I mean? So to me, these promoters don't. I mean, they don't really care where you know what I mean, who's paying for it, because at the end of the day, it's a global market now. It's a big market, and they're exploiting it. Look at Fortnite. Do you know how many kids sit on that? Do you think the owner of that game cares where the money is coming from? Who's buying all the add-ons on the games? You know what I mean? It's the parents that have to pay for it.
It's actually a better strategy to target the kids.
Yeah,
100% than it is, say, a slightly more grown person earning their own money, because you're more likely, kids are more irrational and they have more of a pull when it comes to their parents. Whereas if you as a young adult might be thinking, oh, maybe I should prioritize how I spend this money. Maybe spending 99 quid for the full year isn't best use of my money. You start to develop those thoughts as a young adult growing up. Whereas as a kid or a slightly younger person, shall we say, like a 15, 16-year-old, you're more rational, innit? Oh, I want to go and see a Logan Paul. I fancy him. Let me see him fight. Let me watch him fight. Please, Dad. Please, Dad. Please, Dad. Oh, okay. Just to shut you up. Let me go and let me buy the ticket.
Exactly. Just for, you know what you do for peace and quiet in the house, mate?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? You pay some good money for that, man.
So you can see the logic. I could absolutely see the logic. And yes, traditionally you'd want it to keep it pure boxing, but quite honestly, boxing is an entertainment game. These are entertainers. They have their audience. There is a new audience that you could potentially, even if you get 2% of that new audience to stick around, that is a hell of a fucking result. It just is. So I could 100% see why Eddie Hearn has decided to take this on. I think we covered the shit out of this. So let's talk about.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, anyways, man. I'm looking forward to it, man. Just because of the last of what happened the last time. I'm now a bit more intrigued because they've taken it just that little bit further. I think they'll get some adults in there as well, man, and a lot of YouTubers. are going to promote this shit. They're going to get involved with this shit as well. A lot of YouTubers, because obviously it's a community and everybody wants to pull together and support each other in the community. So it's going to be nice to see how they do, and obviously wishing them well. Wishing them well, man.
Yeah, and to be honest, and like I said, maybe it's because obviously Ola's very involved in the YouTube world. I am a YouTuber with a good modest fan base, but still a fan base. So I suppose you can understand when you spend most of your YouTube life trying to think of ways to increase the, because we as YouTubers have to think strategically. We have to. So we are able to understand what is in Eddie Hearn's mind in terms of growing the business, because he sees an audience, he wants to grow that audience. Why not YouTube? Because I've got news for you guys. Don't be surprised if in the next 10 years football is shown on YouTube. Don't be surprised.
We're heading in that direction. We're heading in that direction.
It will be, because there's a reason things like Sky Go's come out and shit like that, because they're trying to prepare for that. They're trying to make sure that they are satisfying.
Amazon already tried to buy the TV rights on football. Amazon already tried to buy that. They just couldn't get it done, and they'll come back and try again. Maybe YouTube will beat them to it this time around. Who knows? The competition is now going to be there.
Google, bruv. You think Amazon are going to outbid Google? No fucking chance.
This is it's crazy. It's crazy out here.
So just my 2 cents on it. Let's get into more serious stuff though. Let's talk about UFC 252. I know this is been waiting for.
It's a big one.
Khabib versus Poirier. What do you think? Come on, give us the breakdown,
bro. There's the card. Look, the card doesn't really. The card as a whole doesn't really excite me that much. I'm not even gonna lie, but there's a couple of fights on there. There's a couple of fights on there that I'm really interested in.
Let's be truthful. The card is shit.
The card is dead. The card's dead. You know what I mean? It's all about the main event. But I'll give the co-main some attention, because I like Paul Felder like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, I like Felder like he's gonna lose again. I like Paul Felder as well. Yeah.
Oh, you think he's gonna lose?
Yeah, I do.
Wow, boy, you've jumped right out of the gun with that one. I didn't see that coming.
I do. I like Felder a lot, but I think he'll lose.
All right, break it down for me, man. Break it down for me. Edison Barboza Felder. Come on, let's hear it. Let me see your logic to this.
I just think he's a cleaner striker, Barboza. He's a cleaner striker. I think it'll go pretty much similar to their first fight, where Felder lost to Barboza when Felder had an O, when he was undefeated, and faced Barboza, and it was a war. Yes, I think Felder.
It's always a war, man.
I think Felder's obviously stronger on the ground, but I just think Barboza's going to kick the shit out of his legs, slowly break him down, and I think it will be a UD 3-rounder.
Unanimous decision 3 round.
For you to be like that, you must disagree. You must.
I do, man. I'm gonna ride the Felder on this one, man. I do. Barboza has been on a losing streak now, at least a two fight losing streak minimum. Yeah, and the profile of the people that he's losing to, you know what I mean, are people like Felder, are people that fight like Felder. You know what I mean? People like Gaethje, people like Quinta. He's losing to people that fight, that brawl, that take it to their open, just bring the pressure, like Felder. But Barboza has got that killer kick, and I know he can kick a man's head off. We know what he can do with his kicks. But people have shown that if you neutralize, that.
Right.
What has he got?
Just remember, the last time we
What's
disagreed,
Barboza got?
you were like, "Oh my
Yeah.
gosh!" You know what happened? I was correct. You know what that match was?
I know you was right, man. I know you was right. I know you was right. Don't even remind me of that fight though. Even I don't want to remember that fight. I don't want to remember.
I picked Jorge, and you were like, "No fucking chance."
I mean, VP, shout out VP in the chat, man. He's reminding man about the flying knee, man. I swear to God, man. I don't even want to be fucking reminded of that fight, man. That was a nightmare fight. But I'm the way that I'm looking at this fight, I just think Felder's gonna bring the pressure.
Edward agrees with you.
Yeah, thank you, Edward. You know, I just think Felder's gonna bring the pressure. The profile of the fighters that's been beaten, and I go all the way back to Khabib when Khabib battered Barboza as well. It's people that bring pressure, fighters that bring pressure and can soak a little bit of fucking a little bit of beating with the striking and that. Barboza finds it difficult to deal with fighters like that. And I just don't know. I don't know if Barboza can get this done. You know what? Fuck it. I'm a ride with Felder on this. I think Felder again. UD 3 rounds. Yeah. Okay. So we're going with the same results, just different fighters.
Okay. Let's go with the main event. Let's not even mess around. I know certain people are fighting I know Curtis Blades is fighting. I've never heard of the guy fighting, truth be told.
Yeah, but boy, is there man there from Dagestan? There's bad Dagestani man on that card, you know. Khabib's brought his own clan. He's brought his entire village. The man's brought his whole village, man.
Edward asked why this is pay-per-view. Do you know why? To pay the whole team, bruv. The
man's brought his entire village, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? I can't be, you know what I mean? It's like everybody's eating. Fuck Connor. Connor is coming to Dubai. We're all gonna eat. Dinner's paying everybody. You see, you remember when my man jumped over the cage, yeah? And Dana's like, yeah, that man that punched Connor is done in the UFC. That man over there is done in the UFC. This man here, no, and Khabib is like, listen, yeah, you want me to hang around here? All my people stay with me, you know.
One time you better
and before you know it, Dana's doing a whole U-turn on that thing, man.
You better calm down with that whole they're done in the UFC stuff. That's basically what you meant. Like, listen, if they're done, I'm done. Straight up. And it was like, oh shit.
But then I didn't see that coming. He didn't see him saying that, like, yo, if that man there, if you're saying that man are done, then I'm done. You know what I mean? God damn, Chig, what's that? Show us what you got there, but let's see what you're sipping on there, brother.
It's just some cocktail because my throat is
oh, you're on the rum. God damn.
I just want it to burn through.
Yeah. So I think on this fight,
hopefully, by the grace of God, I'm at the final stage of this cold. Just coughs left. So let's see.
I hope you feel better soon, man. So on this fight now, it's there's certain things you have to take into consideration. Poirier has been active. Khabib has been out for over a year. That's, to me, it's not something major, but it's something to consider. Khabib has actually come out for the first time ever in any of the fights that I've seen him, at least in recent years, talking about how he's feeling the pressure.
Yeah,
and
I
don't like that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't like that at all. When I heard that,
I don't like that, man. Like, hold on, like this guy's name. You know what I mean? He's the ultimate definition of pressure. But the one word that Poirier has been using on Khabib throughout the whole build-up is pressure makes diamonds. The man keeps repeating it, keeps talking about it. Pressure makes diamond. And when Joshua lost, my man tagged Khabib in it. That all that undefeated business that you're talking about, you know. I'm around there, around the corner. You know what I mean? All that undefeated talk.
Let me reveal something to you. I
Yeah.
like Khabib. Khabib is my guy. You know this, especially when it comes to anything Conor McGregor. I am on Khabib when it comes to that train, right? But let me tell you something. Part of me wants Poirier to win. Part of me really does want him to do it because I feel like his struggle I can relate to more. Because no one gives him a chance to this. No one.
Yeah.
He's the boxer out of the two as well.
Right. This is another thing that I worry about. And before I get onto that, I'm just gonna read this comment that you just put that comment back up. The comment that you just took out. The Engelbert. Yeah. If I wanted to see two men rolling around, I'll just go down the pub.
No,
like,
to
bro.
be fair, let me give this some context. So this is what he
give us some context before, because I'm about to chew him up.
I always watch the chat room. So I noticed this happened, and then Rajinder came in, and then he responded to Rajinder. Oh no, sorry, Rajinder responded to it. Okay, so that was that, and then Rajinder went. There you go. So go on. I mean, trailer, and I will react to it later.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, two men rolling around the floor in the UFC ain't just a normal two men rolling down the floor. There is a set of skill sets that goes with it. There is a set of movements. There's a set of weight distribution. There's a set of thinking about the next two moves and how the next man is going to counter it. That goes with all of that. And wrestling and jiu-jitsu is the most immense skill that you could learn in all of mixed martial arts. So before people dumb it down and just say two men rolling down the floor, please take that away from here, because I ain't riding with that. I'm not with none of that, man. Take that talk away. You're the kind of fan that's gonna go to a UFC event and see two men scrapping on the ground and be booing the fighters. I'm not with none of that, brethren. Yeah, go check out the art of wrestling and Brazilian jiu-jitsu and come back to man. You get me?
See, this is how you know Holland's a hardcore, because that type of thing will only trigger a hardcore person. It's like, do you know what I compare that to though? Is when somebody says, well, unless somebody gets knocked out in boxing, then it's shit. It's like, hey.
Exactly. Imagine that. 12 men just went 12 rounds trying to figure out ways not to, you know what I mean, not to get knocked out by the next man. The foot movement, the length, the whole shit. There's an art to it. You can't just, you know what I mean? All right. Yeah. I just see what he said. He didn't mean to be rude. You know what I mean? Yeah. I appreciate that. I'm just, you know what I mean? I'm just saying to you, there is an art. It's an art form. It's an art form. It's an art form. And I don't like it being disrespected, because it takes years and years. There is fantastic strikers in the UFC. I'm on about fabulous strikers. I'm on people like Khalil Roundtree, people like Francis Ngannou, that can't go back and learn the art of wrestling because it's so extensive. It's not something you can just go and learn over a year or over 2 years. It takes like 10 years to even get to the point where you can jump in the cage with somebody to do something, you know, and it has to be respected.
I mean, to give you some even context to that further, look at CM Punk, right? For most of his career, he has been a pro wrestler. You think, all right, pro wrestling, amateur wrestling, how much difference could they be? Trust me, there's a big fucking difference.
It's a world of difference. A world of difference.
There is a big
world of difference. So I mean, look, it took somebody like Mickey Gall. Mickey Gall dismantled him. Like Mickey Gall ain't even had no real fights in the UFC, and Mickey Gall just it took him apart, just mashed him up, and that's the level, the level of wrestling that you need to, because CM Punk couldn't even get off the ground. Anyway, we're digressing. I get what you're saying now, Humpadink. Yeah, I get what you. Yeah, I buy what you're saying, and you know what, I allow you on that. I just take it partial. I don't like people dissing what their man their skill set. So with Khabib now, everybody says he's going to take the fight to the ground. We know that's where that's where his strength is. Yeah, but it worries me because Dustin is a Golden Globe winner. Yeah. This guy is boxing is second to none. We saw what he did to Max Holloway's face. To do that to Max Holloway ain't no joke. You can't just do that to Max Holloway. You know, for someone to outbox Max Holloway, do you know what you have to do to outbox Max Holloway? Do you know how good your boxing has to be? But for somebody that hang their chin so high, like Khabib, going to fight Dustin.
It does. That's why I think it's a lot closer.
So high, blood.
It's a lot closer than people make out. Do you know when people ask me in person, what do I think will happen in this fight? I said, let me tell you something, right? I know people are saying Khabib. Actually, I think this is harder than the McGregor fight, by far. I think the McGregor fight, people are placing too much stock on, but McGregor can knock out Khabib, and I was less convinced by that, I must admit. Seeing, as you said yourself, the way he handled Max, and I love Max. I love Max Holloway. I love him. I think he's such a complete fighter. But let's be fucking real. It wasn't even close. It was not close. Just shut down Max. I think maybe Max took one round, and by then the fight was slipping away anyway. It was, to me, I just think, like you say, Khabib keeps he hands his chin high in the air. He does have a solid chin. I will give him that. But the fight, as you always say, starts standing up.
It does.
And I think for Poirier, he's going to have to just scramble as best as he can. His engine, I think, is very, very good. And I think he's just going to have to capitalize and frustrate Khabib so that when Khabib does have his off rounds, and he does, normally Khabib takes third round, fourth round off, then just put it on him. Put it on him. Just show him angles, show him various different shots. Just put it on him as much as he can. And then the fifth round, blindness, is anyone's battle. I think this will go to points.
You think it'll go to points?
I think so. I don't think anyone's getting stopped. I don't. I don't.
I will go.
I don't think anyone's getting stopped.
I will go. This is TKO.
Okay.
Second round.
Second round as well. Wow.
Poirier.
To who? To Poirier.
Yeah.
Oh, don't try it. You're trying to do a Jorge type pick against the
No.
Wow.
Bro, I'm just thinking the scrambling, because
no chance.
Poirier's game on the ground is almost second to none. He can scramble well, and I just think his boxing is way better. And I think he can look. Everybody's been saying from Ala Quinta when Khabib really came back, and he was getting catch on that chin. He was getting catch on that, and he wanted to box with him. Again, Khabib, the only round that he really lost was when he stood up with Conor and started boxing with him. But I think he's going to try and do it with Poirier again. And this time, my man's talking about he's feeling pressure. And on top of that, everybody in his fucking team Everybody in the team is losing. Ken Velasquez, Cormier. It could be Khabib's time, blood. You know what I mean? Everybody's losing, man.
I think it will happen. I think he will lose, but
you don't think it will Poirier that gets it done?
I must admit, so I want Dustin to win. I just like him. I think seems like a nice guy. I do like. I've nothing against being my guy normally.
The only crazy thing for me is if that happens, it denies what everybody's been wanting for the last 3-4 years. Khabib, Tony Ferguson, because we really want to see that fight on the ground. I want to see Tony fight off his back, but they've been saying Tony is the next fight. Whoever wins this fight, whether it's Dustin, whether it's Khabib.
I think he's the guy to beat Khabib.
But he's not going to beat Khabib the way everybody wants to see Khabib get beat.
He's not. Yeah, it will be.
Everybody wants to see Khabib get knocked the fuck out. You know what I mean? Not a fight on the ground. Everybody wants to see Khabib get.
No, I don't.
I think the ref will have to drag Poirier off of Khabib. I think the ref will have to drag him off of Khabib. Rose is lost. Jessica Andrade just got starched. There's all kind of craziness happening, man. Like people that I didn't think would lose a fight are losing fights. Askren, you just told me about Askren. Reminded me about that shit. Like I did. You know what I mean? Like
I felt like Jorge, apart from the fact I'm a massive fan of him, I felt like Jorge was he had big enough tools all round to deal with Askren's very one-dimensional self. Now, I hear what you're about to say. Khabib is similarly one-dimensional. We know what the fuck he's going to do. But I think he's got more tools than Askren did. And I just feel like, I'll be honest with you, and I want Dustin to win. Please hear me. If by some miracle Dustin is watching this, I want you to win. And I don't even dislike Khabib, but I want you to win. But I just feel like I don't believe him. I believe him for the Max fight. I believe.
You know the difference though. The difference is that, and shout out to Nguba. Shout out to Nguba. He just said he's not here to ruffle any feathers. Look, I'm not saying you're ruffling any feathers, bro. You know what I mean? But I'm just passionate about that thing. But don't worry about it, man. I moved on from that. Shout out to Archie. Archie just put on the thing that you just put up. Yeah, that Poirier is gonna need some luck, right? And he's still not gonna stop. You know, like people like Arjen Robben. I keep using Arjen Robben to describe people like Khabib. You know what they're gonna do, but there's nothing you can do to really stop him. You can't stop what they're gonna do. It don't matter how much you prepare for it. But I think this time around, look, Khabib is the master at sticking to game plans. But can he actually do it this time where he wants to stand toe-to-toe with Poirier? And there's a possibility that could happen because we've seen him do it in previous fights. You know, where he's going to want to stand, because that's what Cormier did that lost him the belt to Stipe. Why try and stand with him when you could just take him to the ground and do what you do best? But ego, these guys, they're ego-driven, man. You know what I mean? And when you haven't lost a fight in so long, them man, I just think it's gonna take Poirier lightly, and I think Poirier will get the job done.
I just feel like I want him to win so bad, so it's paining me to say this, but I just don't believe him. I'll be honest. I believe him with Max. And I kind of felt like, I don't remember who I picked at the time, but I kind of felt like going into that fight, Poirier would win purely on the basis that he looked so confident. He had that belief.
He's been through a lot to get up there as well. He's been through so much. He's had to.
He also faced Max at the time. So I kind of got the impression for him before that fight that he could probably win this. And he did, but I didn't expect him to win like that. he absolutely shut down Max in an excellent performance.
It's crazy.
Whereas this fight, I feel like he's gone there and he's decided he's going to give it his absolute best effort. And I think it'll be close, but not razor thin close. I think he'll probably take a couple of rounds off him. I think he may rock Khabib. But I think ultimately Khabib will not want to be embarrassed in front of his dad. This is the first time his dad corners him in a fight. So he won't want to.
I even think that's a bad omen. There's a lot going against Khabib here, man. I don't think that's a bad omen in itself. I think that's a bad. I don't even like that. I don't like the fact that his dad is in his corner this time. The other fights that he's been unbeaten so far, his dad ain't been there. And the only fight that his dad's actually going to be there, this guy's going to lose in front of his dad, bro. I mean, this is not going to be, bro. You know what? We're gonna do a reaction. We're gonna do a reaction show, man. I'll eat my words again, man. I hope you're up. Oh, actually, shout out to VP75. Mama hooked me up with a legal way, a paid way to watch the fight without the paid way. Shout out to VP75 on that one, man. My guy.
Not paid way. Okay, and
you haven't introduced your
brother to this because of what?
It's VP75, man. It's your boy, man. You know what I mean? He's showing us love, man. You get me? He shows us love, man. You get me? So he's VP75, man. All you gotta do is say the word, man. You get me? Yeah, man. But boy, man, he showed man love, man. He hooked me up, man. I can't even lie. He hooked man up with everything. Everything, man. So shout out to VP75 on that one there still, you get me?
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, for me, I just hi Ryan, I see you in the chat. Hope you're good. Yeah, to me, I just think that I just don't see. I hope I'm wrong, because I have nothing against Khabib. I hope I'm wrong. But I just don't think he has enough. I think he has enough to cause Khabib problems. I just don't think he has enough to keep him down. I think that second round TKO thing is wild, bro. I don't. If Poirier's to win, it's nicking rounds here and there, and I think it will go to UD.
Wow.
But
okay.
I still think it'll go to UD. I just think it will be 4-1. Khabib.
Okay. William, I hope you're listening. That's all I got to say. Oh, yeah. Shout out to VP75. He just said, holla at him, yeah?
I see him. So I know a few people have asked about recaps. Me and Ola had a lengthy discussion, without going too far into it, a lengthy discussion about YouTubers and being professional boxers and stuff like that. And our kind of stance on it is, welcome to 2019, motherfuckers. Like, it is what it is. This is boxing this is the direction we're going in. And YouTube has its own audience. And if you can get some of that audience to pay for one of your boxing apps, why wouldn't you? I think Eddie Hearn is very clever when it comes to things like that. And I think ultimately it'll prove to be successful for him. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers that. We've talked about the UFC card, or at least the two interesting fights. Did you manage to watch the AJ Ruiz presser from either yesterday or today?
What? No, I haven't seen the presser. Fill us in while you're here.
So yeah, I think you could see nothing amazingly interesting happen in either presser. You could see though that the demeanor of AJ has completely changed. He looks very agitated. He looks like, how dare you have my hands on my belt? And I think the consensus from a lot of people is, and Thank you once again, VP. Wow. I think the consensus from a lot of people is AJ's trash. AJ will lose this fight again. AJ's not on the level that we thought he was. Yada 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 yada. I like the fact that AJ has a spite. Whether it will help him or not is another question.
I like the new attitude.
I love the attitude. For me, I love the fucking attitude. Because he's
can I ask you, because sorry, can I ask you, because we haven't had a chance to speak about this, what do you make of his comments towards Lennox Lewis?
To
calling
me,
him a clown and all of that, because some ex pros have come out and said, regardless of how Lennox came at him, he should still show some respect because people like Lennox paid the way for him, and some other people like the new attitude and this new AJ that they're saying. What's your take on it?
For me, I love the fucking attitude because Lennox has been biting at AJ for 2 years. So I love it. I fucking love it, to be honest. Because whether you think you should have called him a clown, just because the man is a legend, i.e. Lennox, right, doesn't mean that he should be entitled to, for 2 years, running his mouth and then for you to say nothing in return. Fuck that. Fuck that. So, to me, I loved it. I love the spite. I love it. My only concern with AJ is I hope this spite doesn't turn into something too emotional. Because I think if it is too emotional, Ruiz will beat him again. 1,000%. I think AJ just needs to be calm. I still like to see him get a new strategist or coach, at least to work alongside Rob. I'd like to see that happen. I think his team is way too big.
So you agree with that part of things, that he needs to change his backroom and change his team and stuff.
First of all, he's got a 40-man team. Reduce that shit by half, at the very least. That would be
because it's adamant that it's got nothing to do with his team and his coaches.
But it's too much of a distraction. Listen, if you're trying to focus on a fight and there's like 40 other men in the changing room, what the hell? I'd reduce that shit. I know a lot of people have said that Lennox Lewis could probably help him, which I think he probably could. But I'd have a fresh strategist voice in there just to kind of go over some of the technical things. My only concern is that, and I said this at the time of reviewing his fight, he had more success when his jab hand was down. Because when it was down, he could jab and he would be successful with Ruiz because Ruiz has slow feet. So when you're fighting someone who's shorter than you and has slower feet, you keep that jab, not here, but down. And then just jab from down. Jab. Guarantee.
And it's more of a stiffer jab as well. And that causes damage.
It's a stiffer jab, but it's more importantly than that, it's a jab they don't see coming. Where AJ was struggling was because for some reason his trainer kept telling him, keep your hands up. So whenever he kept his hands up and he was jabbing from here, Ruiz was like,
he's having to wind him up, and he's having to wind up the jab, and you can see it coming from a mile away.
Yeah. So
one man that's so good at that is GSP. GSP was so good at jabbing a man's face off. GSP was so good at that shit.
There's arts to jabbing. There really is. There's arts to jabbing. I think, and this is Archie says the exact same thing. AJ almost needs to box in a very similar fashion to how he did with Parker. So I know he got shat on for that performance. I loved it. I thought it was completely different. He stayed on his toes, jabbed him, moved, and completely shut down Parker. Parker didn't even look close to beating him. And you know the irony of that? Jose Parker is the only man to beat Andy Ruiz as a professional. So that's the irony of that. So to me, I think he needs to fight in a very similar style. Just jab him, move, change levels, gut, occasional right hand, put him down. Even when you have him down, Just take it easy. Don't get carried away. You know he's very dangerous. Just keep jabbing. Keep asking him questions of him. Rough him up. And if it takes 12 rounds to grab your fucking belts back, so be it.
I think that's the right way to go. It's all about looking busy, volume, and just keep the volume high. Look busy. Not even just look busy, but get busy. You know what I mean? And I think almost like in a way what Covington done to Lola, like that. Just get busy. Just overwhelm him. You know, it's the way to go. That's how I see it. You know, just get in his face, overwhelm him, get busy on him, unload jabs on him. Don't even go to look to knock him out. If it comes, it comes. Don't look for it. You know what I mean? Just like you said, ask questions.
It's so difficult fighting someone with fast hands. It's one of the hardest things to combat, because if someone has fast hands, this is why Amir Khan, in my opinion, has had the success he's had. Because I don't think he has particularly fast feet. He certainly doesn't have power, and we know he has a glass chin. But how he gets the results he gets is because of them hands. Them hands are the quickest in boxing. Even today, I still think they are. They're that quick. They are so quick. Whereas, how do you combat something like that? And I think you need to be cuter than you normally are. You can't put yourself in harm's way. I ain't gonna lie, I hated AJ's performance. I'm so glad I didn't watch that fight. I hated it. I thought it was so poor. It was so poorly thought out. Even the first 3 rounds, I didn't like his performance straight off the bat. And I didn't watch it live. Maybe because I knew he had already lost. So watching that performance, I got more and more annoyed because I could see little things that he was doing wrong. I expect him to be cleaner, and I expect him to get his belts back. But I think Lundberg Camp, I agree with him too. I think it's going to be a 50-50 fight. It really is. It's going to be a 50-50
It's gone a long way to making it 50-50 by dropping all that weight and all that muscle mass, because that will help in his movement and getting faster in the ring. So I think shedding the muscle mass what he had is actually helped in because it's almost like you know how lean people like Jones or Stylebender looks when they get in the ring. People think they carry, because they're carrying a lot of weight and all of that. It doesn't go against them. It actually helps you, and it helps the movement. It helps your fit in the ring, and that's helped Wilder throughout the years. You know, it's one because the man can move around. He can move around good. So it'll be interesting to see how the developments and the changes that AJ has made helps him in this second round. But to me, you know, the one of the ways to get it done is just overwhelm, look busy, get busy, and don't, because people be thinking he's got a glass chin, but he got caught on his equilibrium, and we know what that can do to a fighter. So you know, it's bare disorientation.
Right at the top of the dome. Let me tell you, if you get caught there, let's see how well you're handling it.
It's bare disorientation. It's not even about a chin business. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not so much a chin business. It's the equilibrium. And when you get caught there, it's over, man. It's over.
I agree. I agree with you.
It takes rounds to even...
I don't suddenly think he's got a glass chin, but I do think he looks like more vulnerable, especially watching him in the press conferences. He's had a hell of a lot of criticism. A lot of people come at his way. And quite frankly, a lot of people want to see him lose this fight. There's a lot of pressure on him because it'd be difficult to figure out a way forward for him if he loses this fight. It'd be really difficult. Some argue that a lot of his
Floyd made a career out of that. People wanting to see him lose fights. That's how you make money.
But he never did. That was the key for him. He never, ever did. And I think AJ was always going to lose. And to be perfectly honest, I always said if he lost, it would be to someone like Ruiz. There's someone where his focus isn't completely on. And that's what happened. That's the main reason I think he'll win this fight. because I think, yes, Ruiz, I actually think Ruiz is the technical better boxer, but I just think AJ has the more power. I think he'll have the more desire. I think Andy Ruiz is almost living out his dream now. You know, he's made money. His family's future secure. People know who he is now. But I also think the 15 minutes of fame is up. And I think AJ puts it right with a UD points win, in my view. I tentatively say that.
It's definitely a good plan and a good way to go. As long as it brings the belts back home, that's the most. Who cares how he gets it? You know what I mean? Nobody cares how he gets it. Just get the job done. That's all we care about.
Yeah, agreed. Was there any other fight you wanted to touch on? I know we touched on WhatsApp. Yang versus last weekend's fight. Yang versus what is her name? Andrade.
Bro, I wanted to ask you about the Lomachenko and Campbell fight. Yeah, what did you think of that?
Campbell did well. I thought he did well. Better than
he hung in there well, didn't he?
Yeah, much better than I thought he would. I thought Lomachenko would. I think Lomachenko well beat him. Don't get me wrong, but I thought he hung in there. You know, and it took him to a points loss, but actually it was one of those losses where his stock will go up as a result. So whether Campbell will ever be a world champion is another question, but I actually thought he did really well against Lomachenko. We're talking about the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. And it took him a while to figure out what to do. In fact, Campbell had him in trouble a couple of times. But
I like the way he showed him a lot of respect at the end, though. I like the fact that he showed him that respect, showed Campbell the respect that he deserves, you know, for hanging in there with him. And he said, "Listen, I ain't no easy fighter, but this guy hung in there with me." And yeah, he showed him a lot of respect in the end, man. That's what boxing is about.
Agreed. I was going to touch on this very, 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 very quickly because obviously Kovalev fought Yard last weekend. I know people are gassed the fact that Yard almost got Kovalev. I don't think he was almost anything. I think he rocked Kovalev, obviously, in round 8. But let's not gas it. I thought Yard did about as well as he could have in that situation. He just took that fight 10 fights too early, in my view. Whereas I think Kovalev did what he was supposed to do. I think it's nuts that Canelo started off his career, I think, as a lightweight, and now is jumping up to a light heavyweight to face Kovalev. My thoughts on the fight: Canelo schools Kovalev all day long. It's going to be a very similar fight to the Ward fight. Now, if Canelo beats Kovalev, and Ward wants to come out in retirement, oh shit! Now that's a fight I'd get hard at.
Canelo needs to stay off the tackles, though. I'm just saying.
Hey, he likes his. He's on that.
He needs to stay off the tackles, man. We know what trouble the tackles got into the last time, man. He needs to stay off the tackles. I'm just saying, bro.
He likes his jalapenos and his pictograms.
Oh God.
Any word on if John Jones has a new opponent yet?
Not at the moment. I mean, everybody's waiting on Johnny Walker and Corey Anderson. I think it'll be one of those two that ends up facing. They're trying to get Johnny Walker in there, but Johnny Walker ain't really had no fight. I'm praying because Jones wants to stay at 205. So I'm praying he gets Khalil Roundtree really soon. Really, really soon. Because everybody else has had a chance. There's no reason why Khalil Roundtree shouldn't get at least a chance to do something with John Jones, because I think he's got the skill set. He's got the power, he's got the skills. He's been doing Muay Thai for the last 2 years. But he got knocked out by John. Remember when Johnny Walker went to do that celebration and dislocated his shoulder, went to do the worm thing.
The worm thing.
Yeah. And this will be the first fight back for Johnny Walker since that injury. So he's got Coriander saying, no schmuck, it's not no mug. So we'll see how that fight goes. But they're definitely trying to push Johnny Walker forward. And sooner rather than later, I think you'll be seeing John Jones. Because what Jones wants to do is clean up the whole division till there's nobody left. Then he can say, you know what? Yeah, he can say, you know what? I'm the maddest motherfucker up here in 205. Nobody done it like me in 205. Now I'll go down to heavyweight and see what's going on. And I'm hearing Anthony Rumble Johnson is on his way down to. He's coming in next year.
He's training.
Yeah. He's coming in next year, man. You know what I mean? So he's coming straight into the heavyweight division.
It versus him, make it happen.
Like Brendan Schaub said earlier on, man. Jesus Christ, little black on black crime, that'll be, man. You get me? Jesus Christ. Okay, listen to Francis. That's just.
I'll tell you what.
That's just going to carnage, man.
Even if you're a boxing fan, it doesn't normally like UFC, and there has to be a dream fight that I had to convince you.
You gotta watch those two.
Watch that fight.
It's gotta be those two. It's gotta be those two.
Knock the fuck out. Somebody
gets smoked.
That is not.
And we're talking in the first round. I'm talking in the first round. There's no, do not blink.
Somebody will get knocked the fuck out. Simple as that.
Watching it, boy. When you're watching a fight like that, but you can't blink, man. That shit is happening in the first. But yeah, it's an anticipated return. We'll see if it happens. But for now, I think we got a lot of good cards coming our way. Damian Maya and Askren, I'm sure they got something in the pipeline. Covington Usman.
I'd like to see Woodley and Edwards be put together. You might as well.
Yeah, it'll be nice, but I think Woodley thinks it deserves some kind of title shot because he defended that title the most in that division, and he's thinking if I can do a Stipe, I might just get what I want.
Yeah, just wait it out.
Just wait it out. So everybody's looking to do a Stipe now, man, because it worked out for Stipe good. It worked out for him. He didn't take no fight. They begged him with all different kind of fights, and Stipe is like, fuck that. Fuck me. I'll wait my chance. I'll wait my turn.
There was much less contenders than there is in welterweight. There was much less contenders in heavyweight than there was in welterweight. Whereas if
what
you
do you think of Till going to middleweight?
I personally don't think it'll work out.
Face Gastelum.
I think Gastelum.
You think Gastelum will fuck him up?
I do. Straight up, I do. I think it's clever in a lot of ways because I know Gastelum is not a very big middleweight, so I can see.
I was just gonna say Till is a big guy, man. He's huge. I mean, for middleweight as well.
Yeah, you can see the difference. Listen, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think Gastelum will beat him. That's just my view.
Yeah, you know what? I expect Gastelum. I expect Gastelum to beat him, and I'll tell you why. Because right now he's going to be looking at it like I'm being disrespected here. Why am I being the welcome fighter for this guy that's just moved up weight when I've just fought for the interim title?
Oh, is that what you said? I haven't seen it. Any quotes for it?
You know what I mean? When I've just fought for why am I being the welcome fight for this guy? Why? And they know the guy that just fought for the interim title, because Dana White came out admitting that they pushed Till a little too fast. You know what I mean? For the fight that they've got him into. So
I am a little surprised that they're giving him that.
It's surprising. Yeah, I thought I was gonna get like you know what I mean, someone in like 5th to 10th and below, something like that, just to settle. Because I personally don't see Till people like Paulo Costa. I don't even see him beating Yo Romero. Like you could there's.
I don't think he beats my man. You know, what's his name? Fucking hell, the interim champ. Forgot his name.
Oh, Bender, Stylebender.
Yeah, I don't think he beats him.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say.
I think he does everything Till does better.
Yeah,
Honestly, what does he do better? All right, maybe. All right, I'll take that back a little bit. Maybe he has more power than Stylebender. Maybe. Other than that, I
you've
don't
got
see
power, but you've got to cut. This is the thing. This is the thing. This is the thing with Stylebender. People keep thinking power, 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 and you know this more than anybody else. You've got to catch him with that power. You have to catch Stylebender, and that's why he's Stylebender, because you can't catch him. That masterclass that he done with Anderson Silva, all right, yeah, he didn't kill Silva, but there is more to that fight than both of them trying to kill each other. They were showing some arcs in movement. That's what I took away from that fight. Yeah, the movement in that fight was ridiculous from both fighters. Even Anderson showed me he still got it in that very fight.
Do you know who I would have given Till? Maybe someone like a Uriah Hall, or
yes, thank you. That
maybe a Brunson because he's old.
Yeah, Derek Brunson, so someone like that. You know, I mean, giving him Gastelum, man, it's a step too far. In my eyes, it's a step too far.
They did the same shit for Kevin Lee, didn't they? So they stepped him up, and this is why I think Till will lose, because I think it's a similar situation. Lee kept losing fights at lightweight. They figured, all right, maybe you're too big for lightweight. We'll step you up to welterweight. We'll give you a top 5 fucking welterweight on top of that. And we saw how that played out. It didn't play out very well. And I think something similar is going to happen here. That's just my view.
Yeah, man. Shout out to MJ Marney, man. He said Dos Anjos and Anthony Pettis was the fight that started the off for him, and he's not been able to take his eye off of MMA since then, man. So shout out to my guy there. You get me? Yeah, man. Yeah. Stay with it, man. Interesting spot, man. Interesting spot you chose there.
And just quickly to Eric, I'm not ignoring your question. I'm trying not to pay attention to it so that if YouTube are watching, we don't get into problems. So, yes, I see your question. I'm just trying not to pay attention to it in case YouTube see it and then they realize, shit, should I flag something? So, relax, be easy. I've just seen him type it twice. No, 3 times.
Yeah. In all caps as well, man. He's definitely trying to get your attention, isn't it? So
I see you. There's a reason I haven't answered it. All right. Me and Ola have done a nice hour, 15-minute segment for you guys. So we hope you enjoyed it. Man. Please do stick a like on that video. Enjoy it. Ola, are we going to do a reaction video on Saturday?
Boy, the question is on you, bro.
I'll do it. Right, go.
I'll man. Okay. Archie wants to laugh at me, but at least just for that alone, man. Just for that alone, he wants to laugh at me when fucking Khabib beats Poirier. So I gotta give him that chance.
I don't agree with Archie a lot. I don't agree with Archie a lot, but I 100% agree with him today. Just
you say just for that alone, man. Just for that alone, man. He wants to laugh at me when Khabib beats a Poirier. So.
But I think the person that beats Khabib, I've always said it, if Khabib loses, is Ferguson. I just think Ferguson's style is all wrong for Khabib. But we'll see what happens. Enjoy the card. Hopefully enjoy the KSI Logan Paul fight.
And thank you very, very much to the chat room. You guys have been so engaging.
Thank you, VP.
You can see the passion that I'm talking MMA. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, man. You guys have been fantastic.
Thank you, guys. What we'll do a reaction video on fight night, after fight night. And then probably Ola will go to work from there, poor bastard. And then,
I will be going back. I will be going straight to work from there, no doubt. I'm working on Sunday.
And then
unfortunately.
And then, although having said that, it's in Abu Dhabi, so it might be a bit earlier. We need to find out when that fight actually will take place.
Oh, yeah. We'll figure it out.
And then, thank you, Eric, for apology fund. Don't worry. And then, oh gosh, donations flying it. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Shout out to Eric and VP75. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
And
man. Wicked.
No doubt, me and Ola will probably be back the next fight card night, which is 243. Who's 243?
Starbender is the next big one, man. It's the next big one.
Okay.
Yeah, Australia, man. That's the next big one, bro. Starbender Whitaker.
Okay, so
they call me thick and fast, man. They call me thick and fast.
Thick and fast. Yeah, we'll be doing that. But yeah, so me and Ola will be back for that one. And yeah, that's pretty much it from us. Do hit a subscribe button.
We do this because of you guys. We only do this for you guys. You get me? So that's the only reason we're here, man. Doing this for you guys.
And I always said to you guys,
but we love doing it for you guys.
And I always said to you guys, for me, this was always about. The channel is a channel. It's it allows us to be able to have different facets of stuff that people are interested in. So that's not just about Arsenal or just about football, but it's about boxing, it's about UFC, it's about movie reviews. So these are things that I still intend to do. To answer the question from earlier, I loved the one film I'm anticipating next year, and I have been anticipating for 17 years, is Bad Boys for Life. So I cannot fucking wait for that to drop, is the answer to that question. Trailer looks awesome. So yes, that's pretty much it. Thank you, VP, for that last donation. I much appreciate that. And yeah, we're out of here. Take care, guys. We'll catch you soon. Peace.